Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Charger 360, telling the stories of the University of New Haven. I'm J.W. Stewart, a sport management professor here at the university and former ESPN and NBC sportscaster.
And I'm Bruce Barber, the general manager of 88.7 WNHU, where I might add, any student at the University of New Haven can have a radio show. Email me, bbarber@newhaven.edu. I also have a fair amount of radio experience. I was the co-host of Smith & Barber, the morning show on WPLR for 18 short years.
Yeah. One of the great things about being here at the University of New Haven in any capacity is the ability to get involved with almost any club or organization like the radio station or like the student marching band. And that's our guest today and our topic today. Thom Hannum is here on Charger 360. Thom is an adjunct faculty member with our marching band, and he is a legend in the marching arts. In 2024, Thom was inducted in the Percussive Arts Society Hall of Fame. Thom, congratulations, first of all, on the Hall of Fame induction, and welcome to Charger 360.
Thank you so much, and for having me as well.
Well, and we thank you again because you are the first guest on Charger 360
yes,
to bring gifts. Look at this. He's got his own sticks, J-Dub.
Yeah, he's got his own sticks. Thom, would you tell us about, because he's got your autographs on here.
Absolutely.
And a note to all the future guests, like bring gifts.
Yes.
Like we like gifts. We're in season 4, and Thom is the first person to bring us a gift.
Let me say, though, these are branded as the perfect pair, and I thought we were the perfect pair, J-Dub.
Apparently not, but yes. We do make good music together.
Oh, my. Okay. This is so cool.
Yes. Well, Vic Firth, legendary musician and timpanist for the Boston Symphony Orchestra. He was looking for some solutions to creating better sounds on the timpani, so he started experimenting with making his own mallets. That kept evolving, and it turned into sticks, and then he was in his garage, and then he started bringing some people in, and one thing led to the next, and he started a drumstick company, and probably really in the late 80s, and it just grew and grew and grew. They're probably the #1 drumstick manufacturer in the world at this point.
Wow.
And so I was lucky enough to be asked if I would like to create a signature series drumstick.
Luck was not involved.
And I resisted for a while. I mean,
really?
I don't know why, but and then I finally said yes. And so I've probably designed maybe 6, 7 different pair of drumstick models and some mallets for mallet percussion. So
that's great.
This is like having your name on a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Right? To have it autographed on drumsticks. I mean, to use a sport metaphor.
That's
yeah, you're kind of right. You're right.
How did you discover a love of percussion?
Well, in my early years, my family, my brother and older brother, older sister, were in this local drum and bugle corps, just outside of Philadelphia in the Brookhaven. And my parents were involved as well in terms of, just being around and helping.
I bet your neighbors loved you guys.
They loved it. Are you kidding me? I mean, you literally could hear kids playing like the bugles from the bedroom windows, and my brother was a trumpet player. So at any rate, I got involved just tagging along at a very early age, and then I got involved at the age of 9, being in the rookie corps. So I was in the first year group, and then I went into the big corps after that. And all of my training is, I could actually say my entire professional career, I owe it to being involved in drum and bugle corps. I was never involved in a high school or school music program, and I couldn't read music because that's not how they taught us. They just we'd learn by rote. So they would play something, we would listen, watch, try to play it back. And which is maybe a little bit how people learn jazz. They listen, they imitate, and but that was my entry point for music and for percussion. And then eventually I went to Westchester State University, which is outside of Philadelphia. Excellent music school. And they fortunately gave me a chance because, again, I could not read music. So I was on a steep incline persistence.
That's
Very
great.
steep incline.
Wow,
So,
that is great.
yeah.
How long did it, so yeah, you learned to play the drums by listening, so you couldn't read music. How long did it take you to learn to read music and get up that steep incline you're talking about?
Well, because of being in a music school, that had to get accelerated, but it was not easy for me. I'll be honest with you. I was lucky. I was going to school with a couple dear friends who helped me at the outset, kind of getting ready to audition to go into school. And one of the things was they knew I had a talent for like drum lines, marching percussion, which is what brings me to UNH, right? And so as a student, they wanted me to write and teach the drum line at the college. And even though I didn't know how to, I mean, so
Wow.
my best friend in school, Chris Thompson, he was so helpful. And so he sat down with me and we started, by writing. I guess it's really not unlike how we learn the English language. We read it and we write it, and the two converge and move us forward. And so it was both things together. So
You must love working with these incredible young people here. I mean, you know this. You're at so many of the football games. When I go and I hear our marching band, it's goosebumps.
it's awesome.
It's just awesome.
Yes.
So you must just love coming to work every day.
I mean, it's electric, right, for people, because it's a very contagious activity, for the students, for the audience members, and the people that are just fans.
I'm like, they could start marching. I would follow them anywhere. I did take us down Campbell Avenue. I'm like, I'm in.
Well, it's very powerful when you have a group of people, young people, that are committed to doing something together for the betterment of the whole. And that is something that's just undeniable. And when you're in the presence of it and they're having fun doing it, you're ready to tag along. I mean, it is contagious. I get goosebumps talking about it right now.
Yeah, and we were talking about it a little before. So important, really, in this moment where we're an interdependent species. And for you to be able to teach that interdependence, through music,
yes,
is just wonderful.
Yes, and that's what it is. They learn about the value of being there because the other people are relying on you. They learn about the value of community, helping one another, and it's like I said, it's a really powerful experience for them. Honestly, one of the things they'll probably remember the most, once they graduate and move on, they'll look back and go, how can I experience that again? And some of them might continue to play music, somehow, community band or whatever it is. But yeah, it has a tremendous impact.
How many students in our marching band now?
There's about 240.
Yeah.
Yeah, which Jason DeGroff, who's the band, he's done an amazing job of building this over his tenure here. From being a smaller, number of people to what you see nowadays, which is pretty sizable. Very sizable.
When we brought the band back, I think it was 20 students, and like I said, now it's 240. And Jason's done a great job, and obviously you've done a great job being here. For those 240 students who are in the band, it's like learning from you is like learning from Coach Belichick, because you've won 6 drum corps international world championships. You're in the Hall of Fame. Give us a sense of what these drum championships are like and what goes into that. Because I'm not familiar with this at all, and I imagine most of the people who are watching today, unless they're really into music, may not know what this is all about. But this is a big deal.
It's the marching, it's the major leagues of marching music.
Wow.
This DCI, Drum Corps International. And actually, the last couple of years I've been with the Boston Crusaders. They just won the championship, the overall thing and percussion in Indianapolis this past August. So maybe not even quite a month ago. So there's That's 7.
7. Oh, let me update the
There you go.
records. Thank
Go
you.
right to that.
7 championship. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. And it's, you know, I think the drum corps experience, it centers around sacrifice. You know, it's achieving, you know, the dedication to the group, and there is a certain sacrifice that's involved, and you have to want to try to be the best. And I think it's a great lesson for kids to learn, because there's so much of those experiences that you can take to real life. And, you know, not that you're trying to outdo the other person all the time, but there are things that you learn that you can wake up every day and go, I know how to do this. You know, I have the experience in my back pocket to move forward.
I hope your students know all of this. Do they?
Probably not. Maybe it's the type of thing, you guys know, you know, once they kind of move along and they get a family and they get into their role in whatever their careers are, sometimes you look back and go, this makes a lot more sense to me now.
Because I know I've spoken with students, and you know, so you are a rock star in this world, for example, and it's across campus. You know, our instructors, you know, in the Lee College, in all of the college, but the Lee College, for example, I've had forensic science students say, I had no idea that my professor was internationally known in this field or that field. So. Fortunately, you're on Charger 360 right now, and I hope they find out. This is just incredible, and we're so lucky to have you here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That actually brings up a good question, Bruce. I mean, you said 7-time world champion, a Hall of Famer. How did the long and winding road, to borrow a Beatles song, take you here to the University of New Haven? How are we so fortunate to have you here?
Well, Mr. DeGroff, Jason, I taught at the University of Massachusetts up until 2020, and I retired at that point. But Jason went to school there as an undergraduate, and we've never lost touch. You know, he was in this drum corps activity as well.
Wow.
And so he brings those experiences to his directorship here on campus. But, you know, in 2020, oddly enough, it's coincidental, the timings, he's like, we could use a little help here, you know, trying to get through the season, blah, blah, blah. And so I came down, and everybody's on masks and, you know, the whole thing. And then the next year he's like, well, do you think you might be interested in writing the music for the percussion? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that, you know, because I wanted to help him, you know, because he was in a position where he needed that next step. And so that started it, and we've been doing it every year since. But we collaborate really year-round on what the design, the selections of the music, and the design formatting of it, and we go through a back-and-forth process. And it's, you know, so like what you see on the field or whatever the band is doing, that happens over a long period of time of planning, organizing, and writing the material for them. So,
incredible.
So
one more accolade before we leave. You just keep reading. It's more and more. J-Dub did all the research, by the way. I call him J-Dub GPT. That's right. So one of my best friends from college, a guy named Steve Townsend, is a really good drummer.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell him he's going to be very impressed with the fact that you're Pearl Drums Director of Education.
Yes, newly appointed. Newly appointed. I've been a clinician and like product development consultant and an artist, you know, for them for 43 years.
Wow.
So over that span of time, many, many different conversations about how can we get more involved in the teaching of students, the teaching of instructors and band directors, to give them resources, you know, to make their jobs easier and more effective. So they've kind of turned a corner as a company, and the long story short is they're making this commitment to getting into the education area, and They happen to think that I might be able to help them.
Great.
So that's
great.
in fact, next week we're going down to Nashville. We're bringing 10
Wow.
people in for a 2-day summit, and that's going to be the official kickoff of our initiatives with this education area.
So great.
Thrilling, absolutely thrilling.
Well, speaking of education, it's pitch time. This is the last question we ask all our guests, and this is how we're going to wrap up the show today, Tom. But what's your pitch? Why should music students or students who are interested in participating in the marching band attend the University of New Haven?
Well, there's a lot of, first of all, you stay involved in music, and if you follow some of the research with, math and sciences, people that do music tend to do significantly better in those subject areas. That's that one. I think it's more the personal development as of the individual. You immediately come on campus. You are part of a family. You are not alone, and that's very important as we've kind of touched on. And it gives these kids a place to be, and something to strive for. Outside of the classroom. Like what you learn in the classroom is one thing. What you learn in this kind of an environment where it's about your interpersonal skills, developing that, your ability to talk to people, to accept instruction and respond in like a timely fashion. Those things are so vital. And I think for a lot of the students, it's the part of their experience at UNH that they're going to probably remember most once they move along and they graduate. So come here, get in the band, and be part of something that's truly special and is still developing.
So great.
That's music to anyone's ears, Bruce.
Yes, it is, J-Dub.
I'm about out of music puns, so I guess we'll wrap up the show, yeah. But we want to thank Thom Hannum. Tom, thank you for everything you've done for us here at the University of New Haven, working with our marching band. Again, congratulations on your induction into the Percussive Arts Society Hall of Fame. And now a 7-time Drum Corps International World Champion. Again, you come here as a student to be in the marching band, it's like learning from Bill Belichick, seriously.
That's right, yeah.
And thank you again for the gifts. We really appreciate
You're absolutely
these. This is
welcome.
great.
You're absolutely welcome.
Future guests, take note.
Yeah. Do you know how to play the drums?
Not at all.
No? Do you want to learn?
I think Steve Townsend just got his Christmas present.
Well, that'll wrap up this edition of Charger 360, telling the stories of the University of New Haven. If you'd like to be on the show, all you got to do is email Bruce or me, bbarber@newhaven.edu, or jstewart@newhaven.edu. For Thom Hannum, for Bruce Barber, I'm J.W. Stewart. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Charger 360.